Hello, this is the second video for the Lake personal assignment. Get your computer going, whichever one you're using, plug her in, get the rack open, plug it in, all that kind of good stuff. And we, of course, need to boot up Lake. There's some caveats here regarding this video and how it's working. One is that I've got two versions of Lake installed. By the time you work on this lab, there will only be one version of Lake on the computer. I'm going to open up one that is not full screen. You'll see that in a moment. Yours will be full screen. Be aware of that. So when you open up Lake, it's going to ask you this. It's going to ask you which network adapter to use. You may see numbers on more than one if you're connected to hardware internet. You want to open up the wireless one and select adapter. This is how it can speak on the network to other Lake processors that are on the network. If you have the Lake unit on and you're attached, what you surely should do is turn on and connect to the Live Sound Smart Rack network. That will allow you to talk to the physical LM44 in that rack, but you don't need the physical processor for this lab at all. You're not going to use it, so it's kind of irrelevant if you use the Wi-Fi connection or not. But anyway, get in. You may see this message. Do you want to recall the last system configuration? This is the last use of Lake, whoever was using it. Please say no. You start fresh. If you're in a situation where Lake crashes, which is entirely possible, actually it happens quite a lot, hit yes and it will reload what you were working on a moment ago. But we're going to go with no here. And I was talking about full screen. Maybe you can see from this video, you probably can see other Windows stuff on the sides. Yours will probably be full screen. I'm doing it this way because the screen capture program works better. Okay, I can move back at any time to the desktop. I'm going to hit the Windows key on the computer and I want to go back and exit that. Actually, I just want to go back and see my instructions. So I've gotten through Lake controller setup. Next thing, let's save our file and figure out how to do that. I'm sorry, I'm a little awkward here. Let me saving your file. Geez, Eric, a little awkward here. So let's learn how to do that. Going back to Lake, it's right here. All of your main, you'll see that there's two big pages up here, and most all of your features are down here on the bottom in buttons. This button format is because Lake controller is designed to be used by a tablet computer walking around throughout a venue doing system tuning. There are no menu bar items. It's all in buttons. It's a little different, a little awkward, a little strange, but it does work really great on a tablet. Let's go to System Store Recall. And this is where you can save your files. And I'm going to make a new file here, store system. And for the sake of this video, I'm just going to call it vid. And you, of course, need to name it a specific way. Let's go find out exactly what you're going to name it. You're going to name it, what are you going to name it? Oh, the ball is backwards. Got you. That's right. You're going to name it personal.yourname. So maybe I should go ahead and do that. I'm going to go back to Lake here, and I would call it personal. Well, of course, it would be personal.eric, right? And I'm going to hit OK on that. So I've now, I think I spelled personal wrong, didn't I? Personal.eric and hit OK. The file is now saved. It's there. That is where I can load it from later on when I need to grade your file. So we're in that. I'm going to go back to home, which brings me back to the main screen. And I'm going to go back to the instructions and make sure I'm working along here. We have made it through saving your file. Next section, of course, is Lake Essentials. So I got to do a little bit of teaching here for you. So just looking at the screen here for a moment, not Lake. There's some terms you really need to learn in order to understand the instructions and understand what I'm going to say. First off, what a frame is. A frame is a physical device such as an amplifier that has Lake processing in it, or such as the LM44 that Nescom owns. So a frame is actually a device. A virtual frame is a virtual version of it. That's what this entire assignment is going to be using. You're going to import virtual devices. And the idea is you can be sitting on an airplane and working on your Lake controller file and create a massive PA system that has many, many frames in it. Of course, they're all virtual. And when you get to the venue, you can connect to it and have the data in those virtual frames become real. Module, you'll see lots of modules in this assignment. Modules are the little processors, and each frame, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Ooh, arrow keys work better than the mouse. The modules are the little separate components within a frame. They're different processing sections, and each module includes a lot of different processing features, such as EQ, limiting, etc. And then a group allows us to group multiple modules together. Modules are the little round dots you'll see in a moment, and a group groups them together so that the input processing of the modules, i.e. mute, level, polarity, EQ, and delay, are all shared. So when you adjust EQ on one, all the modules follow. Super module is a fancy way of taking many modules and making them work together. We're not using super modules in this assignment. A couple other things. Big one. Contour mode and Mesa mode. So all these frames, not all of them, some frames don't do both modes, but most frames do, and certainly the Nescom LM44 does both modes. Contour mode and Mesa mode. What are they? Contour mode is made for idealized for loudspeaker processing, and in it a single input can go to multiple outputs. And so here's a drawing here from the manual of contour mode. In this case, you can see it is that two inputs here are fed into a crossover, which then splits it into two three-way crossovers. So if we just look at the top here, the left input would go off and go to a three-way crossover. So it's 1 in, 3 out, and it has a crossover. That's what contour mode is. It's for optimizing for loudspeakers. Mesa mode is a little simpler. Mesa mode is in this case, this would be like the LM44 that we have at school. 4 in, 4 out, and the input goes directly to the output through all the processing. There is no splitting. There are no aux sends. There are no crossovers. It's just a simple one-to-one setup. This is more ideal for for system processing, like system EQ, system tuning, where you just want to EQ the PA. You don't want to split it up and send it to lots of different locations. Okay, and I think that's a good place to end this second little video. All right, excellent.